OTAN, Outreach and Technical Assistance Network.
Hi everyone, welcome. I hope you're doing well. So today we will be talking about how to gain confidence in your Zoom skills, including the latest updates. My name is Anagit Traganza, and I am the ESL instructor and the online faculty mentor facilitator at San Diego College of Continuing Education. And I'm here with my colleagues, Ms. Johanna and Ms. Chris. So would you like to introduce yourselves?
Sure, I've got letters to step over. So we're all from San Diego and we work at San Diego College of Continuing Education together. My name is Johanna Gleason and I'm an ESL teacher. I'm an adjunct and I taught in all modalities, online, hybrid, flex, in person, and I'm also the ESL technology coordinator. And so I provide assistance and training to teachers who want it or need it with any sort of technology that we offer, including Zoom and Canvas, and a variety of other subscriptions, and Microsoft Office and all of that kind of stuff. And Chris Velache and I together, we host a committee, chair.
Yeah.
Chair?
We share co-chair or
Co-chair, we co-chair a committee called the TUT Committee or TUT Committee.
Yeah.
TUT, Teachers Using Technology. So we host workshops once a month, sometimes more frequently if there's some kind of, new update or something like that. And, we get a lot of contributions from our fellow faculty and that sort of thing. And,
Good morning, everyone. My name is Chris Velache, and I also come from the same college that Johanna and Anagit come from. I teach the beginning literacy level 1 class. I have an in-person class and then an online class. So let me repeat that. Beginning literacy 1. In technology, fully online, with students mostly have, they only have phones, most of my students. So you can imagine the level of stress and anxiety that comes with that, teaching that population. But we're happy to be here and we hope that we can help you gain that confidence, because that's the title of that of our session here. You feel comfortable using some of these tools. You may not implement some of these tools in your classes, but at least you are exposed and you know what they're all about. So welcome to our Zoomers and welcome to our roomers. Is that, I think that's the lingo we use. Zoomers is yes. Say happy Friday to all of you.
So, well, let's continue and,
okay, next slide.
Someone had said that they weren't hearing anything.
Oh,
But the other participants.
Yeah, that's probably their own device
Yeah.
because,
if some of them
everybody
could
else
hear.
is saying they can hear.
And someone mentioned highlighting the speaker, but on my end, I could see that all of you are being shown on the,
yeah, maybe we
owl.
should do.
so I mean, I don't know, it looks good.
Well,
Yeah.
so when we're sharing our slides, the slides are gonna be the main thing that people can see.
We'll share our pictures later, so you
So I just wanted to mention that, yes, we all have to be on top of it and we need to keep up with Zoom updates. And how do we do that? And Johanna already mentioned about the ESL department, regular monthly talk meetings, teachers using technology. And in addition to that, my team, as online faculty mentors, we support not just the ESL department, but the entire college. And we also hold regular monthly meetups, Zoom for instructions, where we can share the latest updates and demonstrate. And the best part of it is when we can make the attendees co-hosts and all attendees can play with those tools and practice them before taking them live to their classrooms. So-
Just let me know when do you want me to do that now?
Yes, so
Okay.
we have our information on the first slide. And if you want to get the slides, you could scan the QR code. And should we go to the next one? All right, so before we continue with this slide, please tell me if you are new to Zoom. If you are new Zoom users, no? Intermediate?
Yeah.
Intermediate?
Yes.
Yes, advanced? Thank you very much. Okay, so did you find your colleague here in this room? Are you from this school?
I am. Yeah.
Oh, very good.
I'm not.
Which school are you from?
I'm actually from Fremont Union High School District Adult School, which is over in Sunnyvale, which is
Oh.
confusing. Happens to be on Fremont Avenue. And so, it's not this Fremont.
Which is a weird thing.
Yeah.
Well, are you ready to dive in?
Do you want us to join your Zoom meeting?
Yes, I do.
So
So,
how do we join your Zoom?
so to join our Zoom link, find our Zoom link, you need to go to the conference website, to the schedule, and please find our time slot, and the Zoom link should be there.
We need to make sure that you keep your audio off, otherwise we'll
Yes.
get that, you know,
Yeah.
that interference and the echoes and all of that kind of stuff.
3 minutes or few seconds.
Do you want to cover the Zoom login, Anagit?
Yeah. So by the end of this session, you will be able to hopefully feel confident using those new Zoom features. And you might think about teaching your students one or more of those Zoom features because they're very interactive. And this is it, let's go.
Okay, so Zoom login.
Zoom login. My first question is, how do you log into Zoom?
Through Google.
Through Google, so you
Through
go
Google.
online and you log in online, you're not using the Zoom client,
No.
right? Okay, and folks at home, can you also write in the chat, how do you log into Zoom?
So could you please explain more through Google? So how do you do that?
She goes to Google and types in Zoom and then
There you
clicks on
go.
Zoom and logs in.
Personal room and off I go.
You use your personal room to teach,
Yeah.
not a, okay.
All right,
Interesting.
very good. Yes,
I
please.
usually just have a bookmark for Zoom, and I actually just punch in the meeting ID.
Okay, so you guys are all entering through the internet?
Yeah.
You're all going to the internet to enter, and when you say you have a room and you bookmark it, you click on the link,
I have,
or,
not a room, I have the Zoom website.
right, okay, and then you go in and you start your class.
Yeah,
Yeah, great, okay.
All right, very good. Anybody else?
but then when
Yes.
I'm joining as a participant, I just get the 9-digit.
Click on the link, yeah. Oh, you enter the code, yeah, okay, good.
All right,
We use Schoology and that's as our learning management system. And so I am able to set up my Zoom sessions for my classes through that. And the link appears on the page.
Is
Thank
Schoology an LMS?
Thank
Yeah,
you.
yes, okay,
Yes,
yeah.
I think so.
Yeah. So.
any other
Flying app from my computer.
client data? Thank you.
I have a bookmark.
A bookmark? Very good.
Okay, next.
All right.
Because I'm too far.
So, can we go back?
Yeah, sorry. that's-
Oh, so.
Is this where you wanted us? Here?
Maybe previous one?
Okay.
And how did you log in?
Yes.
I went to the conference schedule.
Yeah.
Found the session, join, join versus join.
Yes. All right, so there are many different ways to log in. We will show you how we log in our school and why the way that we do it is beneficial. Okay? So in our district, San Diego Community College District, we have what's called branded Zoom. Branded Zoom. We have our Zoom link with SDCCE. So, that's why when we go there, we have several options. Some of the options are, join to connect to the meeting, when it's in progress. Then we have a host, sign in to configure your account, or even activate. This is very beneficial for all new instructors because sometimes they get lost. And as an online mentor, I get sometimes instructors who did not know what to do and how to activate their Zoom link, so they can do it through this website. So in our district, we recommend that everyone who starts the class would log into their Zoom account first. So this is one way. And then, what do we have for the next slide?
Next slide, we're starting about keeping.
Okay. Also, another way, can we go back? Could you please,
Yeah.
it's computer.
Yeah, you need to turn the computer audio off. Got it? Okay.
All right, could we please go back one slide? One slide back.
This one?
Yes, so, we have, LMS Canvas. And, I will show how to. We have
I don't remember if
The
we did
slide.
a slide to show the Canvas integration.
Yes.
Yeah.
All right, in which LMS are you using?
Well, she said Schoology, right?
Schoology.
Yes.
Yeah.
Right, and in the school as well?
Platform, you mean? We tried that, I don't think any, right, really?
No, everything does it.
Because there is a way to integrate the Zoom with the LMS. And this will also let you log into your account. It will, because we log in. So what is the difference between the branded Zoom? We have one sign in into all our accounts, our email, our LMS, our Zoom, and that's why Canvas login is a good idea. The client, because they know who you are. And what about the email link? What do you think? Does Zoom know it's you?
No.
Yeah, often if you're just clicking on an email link, it says iPhone, right?
It's an
Or-
iPhone, yeah. So if you need to get a sub, what do you do? How do you add the alternative hosts?
Setting.
Through settings, right? But did you have a situation where the sub would tell you, I couldn't log in, I cannot log in, please tell me, what do I do? So what do we need to tell them? We need to tell them that they need to first sign into their account. So our recommendation is to be signed into your account when you have your Zoom sessions.
Yeah.
Any questions?
I mean, just to follow up, both Anagit and I work to help instructors who are having problems. And we'll often have the situation where the instructor's saying, oh, this is funny. My class still says spring 2022. And that's because they're clicking on a link that they created or that somebody created a long time ago. And they're not going into the Zoom client and creating a new class each semester. So if you're just clicking on those links, yes, your personal device might recognize you as being the host, but you're not using Zoom to its maximum capacity. And if you just click on that link, you're not going to be able to, as you said, enable an alternate host, you know, if you need a sub for your class. So,
Also, we recommend that the instructors would not use their personal Zoom room,
yeah,
but to create a new Zoom,
a class.
a class
Yeah.
for each semester.
Mhm.
Because if you integrate it with your LMS, it will show for the students all of the sessions, and also they can see the recordings for each session. Questions?
Okay, so I'm gonna talk about the importance of keeping Zoom updated. And so if you wanna, you can do the slides on my computer there, because that's what's sharing. Okay, so it's important that you have the Zoom client installed on your computer. It's totally okay to go in through the internet to start your meetings, but you need to have that Zoom client installed on your computer so that you can get the updates. Okay, so what you do, you can just Google Zoom client, and then you can install it for free, or if you have something set up through your school, they'll give you those instructions. But the important thing is to make sure that you're not always accessing it through the internet. You're actually using the Zoom client app. Okay, can you go to the next slide, please? Okay, to update, you need to click on your little I need a like, yeah, when I'm teaching, I have a skit. Oh, okay. She's making it. Oh, cute. You click on your little profile picture, okay, or you hover over the profile picture, and a menu appears, and you're gonna click here and click check for updates. And so next slide. When you click on check for updates, can we get the next slide? Oh, yeah, you're gonna get it on my computer. Click on install. And then next slide. It takes a few minutes, and then you get this nice little message saying your client has been successfully updated. Okay, can we go a couple of slides ahead because they're in the wrong order? So one more. There we go. Okay, after you've updated, if you're not sure what happened, you can go back into the same menu, hover over your little face. Your little, what do you call it? Pin, little face, your little profile picture, okay? And click here on discover what's new. And when you click on discover what's new, you'll get a menu dropping down that gives you like the highlights, which is someone needs to mute their audio.
I'm sorry.
Okay, so you'll see the highlights, so quick bullets about the things that are new. And then as you scroll down, you'll see a more detailed description of each of the new updates. This update just came out, it wasn't very long ago, a couple of days ago, but there's nothing major, I don't think, for any of us adult ed teachers in it. But a few months ago, there were some pretty major changes. And I don't know about you guys, but for me, like when it changes and I'm not expecting it, I'm like, oh my God, what's all this stuff? So I had to take some time to figure out what it was and how to use it. So can we go back a couple slides to update number 1? Okay, update number 1 is immersive view. So you can, typically we had, or in the past, we had speaker view, gallery view, and immersive view. Now, if you're the host, when you click on the view, there's an option for immersive view. So Anagit, can we stop sharing and then really quickly show everybody immersive view? Can you not do it because you're not the host?
I can, yeah.
Can you, Johanna, Gleason, the host?
Johanna?
Yeah, she's gonna.
I'm doing it right now.
She's doing it right now. Yeah, want me to do it? Okay.
And while they're doing that, how often do you guys update your Zoom, app? Do you guys update your Zoom app every week, or whenever you remember best practices, you gotta remember to update it? I usually update it almost every day, because otherwise what's going on with my Zoom app, it might be funky, so yes, best practice.
Yeah, so you can see immersive view. Now it looks like we're all sitting in a lecture hall. That's not the only option. There's a couple of other options, okay?
This is part of the update? How cute.
Yeah, that's an update. Yeah, so you can change it so that we're sitting in a board meeting. You can change it so that we're sitting in a variety of different, yeah, so here, right? And the thing is, this is cute and it's fun and you're laughing. It's a great way to start your class.
Oh, yeah.
When people join the Zoom room, they're like, oh, look at us. We're in a lecture hall, or oh, look at us, we're in maybe this is a preschool classroom, right? And so you have a little bit of a conversation starter, a little bit of a warm up, getting people comfortable while you're using your immersive view. So I think it's a lot of fun. If you go back
But will
to,
they see that if they're not, if they don't have it on their computer, will they see that view on theirs end?
Oh, if they don't have.
they
it
need
up
to keep their Zoom
So
client
they
updated.
have it.
Oh,
Everybody, yeah, it's very important for us to teach our students to update. They need to update. If they don't update, they will eventually stop being able to join your Zoom meetings.
Yeah.
Okay, so if they don't keep their client updated and they try to join a Zoom meeting, at some point they will get a message saying, your Zoom client is not up to date enough to join this meeting.
Oh, really?
You need version 6.5 or
This
whatever it
opens
says.
up a whole new can of worms because I have never updated, whatever go online, right, to join. And it's a tall order because it's a beginner class too.
I teach beginner literacy. I teach the same class as teachers.
So how much time does it take of your class to make them all kind of?
But they don't
Know
even
what
have
they're
their own
doing.
accounts, most of them are just joining from a link.
A lot of our students are joining on phones,
Mhm.
yeah, but you as an instructor you should be keeping your Zoom client updated and checking for these updates.
But if they're just joining from a link, then they don't need to update anything, right?
They don't need to, but if you wanna use some of these features and have them be fun, they should update, yeah, yeah. I mean, immersive view is fun, it's not major, like, critical to Zoom usage, it's just kind of fun. So if that's the only thing you're thinking about, you're like, they don't even do immersive view, no big deal, but it's, you know, if you're teaching a higher level class, Anagit teaches level 3, I mean, that is a thing where students will come and be like, oh, look at us, you know? Or if you're not teaching ESL, if you're teaching some sort of adult ed, that might be something that you like to use. Okay, can we start sharing the slides again? Yes. Okay, and I lost my little thing you made me, Chris. Okay, so what you're, in order to find these, you probably have seen the speaker and the gallery view so that you can change those. It's up there, it's up in the upper right-hand corner of your Zoom screen. You click on view, you get a drop-down menu, and then you can choose these. You can choose the different views. Okay, so let's go to the next slide.
But again, please remember, if you are a host, but not a co-host will not be able to see that.
Yeah, only the host can do this. Only the host can do this. So only the teacher can do it. Yeah, so let's go to the next slide. Okay, the annotation tool. The annotation tool, when you click on annotate, so you've got your Zoom toolbar, you can see your Zoom toolbar. Sometimes you want to annotate. You can click on the annotation tool and it used to appear up here. If you haven't updated, it might still be appearing up here, but back in October last year, can we go to the next slide? Oh, no, here, it started appearing here vertically. So it looks a little different and some of the features have moved around. So there used to be a different place where you would click on like the vanishing pen or the spotlight. And so some of those things have moved a little bit. You've got to make sure that you're familiar with those, but they've also added some nice features. Like now we can make our line widths thicker than we used to be able to make them, so there's some nice features there. Next slide, please. Okay, and it used to be the case that if you didn't want other people in your Zoom meeting annotating, you had to go into your settings and disable the annotation prior to your meeting starting. Now, if you forget to do that, or if you haven't done that, and has it happened to you guys? Where, yeah, you're in class, you're teaching, and all of a sudden somebody's like drawing in circles all over your page, and it's incredibly distracting, and you can't settle down. Well, you used to have to make sure to disable that before you started the meeting, but maybe sometimes you didn't want it disabled, because maybe sometimes you wanted the students to be able to put a little check mark there, or write their name, or something like that. So now, if you can go back, please, Anagit, to the, yeah, that's in the wrong place, sorry, that's because I was playing on this morning. Now, if you go to the Zoom menu, probably you're gonna need to click on the 3 dots to get more, and it pops up, you can disable the annotation for others right in the meeting at that time. So let's say, you wanna have the annotation there because you've got some nice whiteboard and you want the students to be able to put their little check marks on it, or you want, them to be able to collaborate in documents, you want them writing. But now somebody's giving it to their kid because they went to the bathroom and the kid's writing all over it. You can just really quickly go there into the extra 3 dots and disable the annotation for others right there in the meeting, and you don't have to stress out. Okay, next slide. Oops, I just closed my Google Slides on my phone. And the next slide again. Yeah, sorry, okay. Okay, so if people are actually in the meeting right now, we can go ahead and try to annotate. Do you have the annotation option on your screen?
Yes,
Okay, so, if you guys, what?
do you? Do
If
you
you
have annotation tools?
Let's see.
Yeah.
Do you know where it is?
It might not be enabled for all, okay, yes, we got people.
If you click here,
Oh.
view options at the top and annotate.
Okay, so.
Okay, students, how do you feel today? Let's annotate.
Okay, I don't see.
You option.
Annotate. Got it.
Okay, so you should see annotate in the Zoom toolbar along the bottom of your screen. If you don't see it, you need to click on the more three dots. Look, we're having all kinds of fun annotating. So,
View options.
and again, I mean, depending on the level of your class and the content of what you're teaching, you might want to use the annotation tool as a way to engage students, right? So this could be a nice way to start your class today. How do you feel? And look, we've got so many people who are happy. And one person who's, is this bored? Is that what that means, bored? And then a couple of people who are sad. And luckily, nobody who's sick right now. Okay. Okay, so folks at home, if you can hear me, please, I think you are, because I think there's more check marks here than there are people in the room. Our folks at home must be helping us annotate. Okay, so we kind of all see how annotation works. In your own time, play with all of the different options that you have there. Look, somebody's not feeling any of these things. Okay, all right, let's go ahead and move on to the next update. And this is a pretty new one. This was pretty new. And I've seen today that there's a whole lot of
See, I'm doing the annotate. but-
yeah, close your annotation
If
toolbar.
I'm in the wrong.
Yeah.
Okay, so. And let's go to the next slide.
Okay, so this is one of the updates that came out. Again, I can't remember if it was exactly last October or last November or even earlier than that, but this AI companion and summary is pretty cool. Has anyone tried it? Has anyone tried the AI companion yet or the AI summary? What do you think about it? Yeah, it's pretty cool. Okay, so we have two things. We have the AI companion. So, you guys can click on it now. You'll see it on the toolbar. Down here somewhere, and the host has to allow you to use it. If you're the host, you can start the companion or start the summary. If you're a participant, you can click on it, and
have it.
it's not there, maybe.
You have to turn on your settings before starting.
Okay. And so this is not our Zoom meeting, this is TDLS Zoom meeting, so,
Yeah.
okay, but just so you know, keep this in mind, go ahead when you do it at home, okay? You can either start the summary or stop the summary, and then next to the summary button on your toolbar, there's also the companion button. And so the companion is really nice because you're sitting there on your computer, and if you missed something, you didn't quite hear something, or maybe you had to get up to go to the bathroom, or maybe your dog started barking at the mailman, you can totally click on the AI companion and ask it a quick question. I had to pop away for a second. What did I miss? Okay, yeah, it's awesome. And it tells you right away. And then the other thing is, so that's the AI companion that's in meeting. You can get updates and then, I got busy for a second. Did my boss just mention my name? You can find those things out. And it'll send a little message to you, a little written message in meeting. The AI summary, you enable that before your meeting starts. AI summary before your meeting starts. And then everybody who joins, they have to say that they got it. It's gonna say this meeting AI summary is enabled. And you either click got it or you leave the meeting, just like when you're recording a meeting, you either click got it or you leave the meeting. And then after your meeting's finished, a couple of minutes later, you get an email with a summary of the entire meeting. And this can be useful for class, like students might want to use it because you've listed the homework and all of their homework is right there. Can we go to the next slide? Okay, So pretty typically, it's divided up into four categories. It actually like has headings, right? You get the summary, it has headings. You have a quick recap, you have an overall summary, which is longer of the meeting. Then it'll, depending on how long the meeting was and how many different topics were discussed, you'll have a variety of, you know, okay, well, we did the present progressive. We did present progressive versus simple, present simple. And then we had a dialogue at the doctor's office. It'll break it up into those different categories for you. And then it will have next steps. So if you're teaching, it could have homework. Do you guys have meetings at your, you know, with teacher meetings? This is great for that, right? So we had a meeting of our textbook committee and we were reviewing some textbooks. So it gave us, you know, quick recap, the summary, and then it was like, okay, we talked about this aspect of the textbook, these levels, we talked about the pricing, we talked about whether we would buy class sets or students would purchase their own textbooks. It's gonna divide that up into categories for you. And then next steps. Johanna needs to get pilots set up. Alyssa needs to get some desk copies for teachers. So it tells you the name of the person and what their follow-up is. Super convenient. The first time I tried this, like I saw that the update was there, I was like, hey, let's see how it works. And I got my sister online with me just to practice, you know, in an informal way. And so we're chatting, she hasn't updated her Zoom, I'm telling her all this stuff, right? In fact, she finds out that she actually doesn't really have a Zoom account anymore, she stopped paying for it anyway. So it tells us all that kind of stuff, right? While we're talking, someone knocks on my door, I didn't know anyone was coming. It was my daughter and her husband, and my daughter was pregnant. I got up and I walked away from my computer, I was greeting them, I was hugging them. You know, her belly's all big, and I go, oh, my baby. And she says, my baby. And I said, my baby grandson, right? And anyway, we go back, I finished the conversation. My sister and I had a couple of little gossipy moments about our family members, and then the meeting ended. I got the summary later. Well, when I got the summary, so one thing that you'll notice is when you're on Zoom, usually if you walk away from your computer or your microphone, the other person can't hear you anymore. Well, the AI companion can, because I was not anywhere near that computer when I was greeting my husband and my daughter and her husband. I was not anywhere near the computer when I had my hand on her belly saying, my baby. And the AI summary said, you know, Johanna's daughter and husband arrived. Johanna joked about stealing the baby.
Oh my God.
Wow. Johanna joked about stealing the baby. So AI inferred, and it inferred incorrectly. I wasn't joking about stealing her baby. I was just saying my baby grandson, right? But so it can hear you when you're far away, and it makes inferences. I mean, to me, it's totally amazing. And yeah, sorry.
Well, the great thing about summary is that you as a host receive an email 10 or 15 minutes after the meeting ends, and you can edit and tweak
Yes,
it before
yes,
participants
yes.
see what they wrote.
Yes, and that's what I was gonna say. That's the point I was getting to, is that although it's awesome and super time saving, you do need to read it and edit it, because it does make mistakes. I did not joke about stealing my daughter's baby. Yeah, question?
Do you have to enable or disable it? I mean, so for instance, your example about it picking up your conversation.
Mhm.
So is that because you had the microphone on and or where?
As long as that, you see that little, I don't know if you can see that, but the diamond logo up in the top left, if that's blinking, that means your AI summary.
Your AI summary is on. And how do you disable that?
As a host, they have to go in there and pause it, just like you do as a report with the recording.
I got it. Yeah. So if you go back to the previous screen, Anagit, so this is your Zoom toolbar down here, right? These appear, these two icons will appear on your screen along here. You can either start the summary or stop the summary. If you don't see it along here, you're gonna click on more and it'll be up there.
I think it's probably not there because the account sharing it didn't start it, someone else.
Yes,
Someone else's computer
exactly.
started it again.
That's exactly why it's not there right now. Okay, so my colleagues have quite a lot more to present to you. I want to go ahead and turn it over to them, but yes, question?
I think I know the answer, but just to confirm, these new features are only available when you have the app, not joining the Zoom. Is that correct? Like I access to this AI companion and
I think it just depends on your host. Some
Yeah.
school
Yeah.
districts
have it all.
have been hesitant and they haven't turned it on for
Yeah.
privacy reasons.
Okay,
Yeah.
But if the host, the administrator of the district has enabled it, then, host can go into their account and enable it themselves.
so if you're in a meeting and somebody else is hosting, they can turn it on. Okay, you're gonna get a message saying it's turned on, and you either click got it, or you click leave meeting. So if you don't wanna be in a meeting where there's AI enabled, you need to leave the meeting if the host is enabled it.
Just a lot of K-12 school district, like our school district, LUSD, they haven't enabled it yet for privacy.
Oh, I see, okay.
They're
Okay.
holding off on doing research before that.
Yeah, when I started demonstrating this, there were a lot of people in the meeting where I was demonstrating it who were feeling very nervous about their privacy, you know? So yeah, for sure. Okay. Thank you, everyone, very much. We'll turn it over to Chris.
Chris, yeah, so let's go to the next slide and hello again, everyone. I think it's update number 4, the next one. I got a little confused. It's
No,
not.
sorry, because I was playing on it this morning.
That's okay, that's all right.
This is update 5.
Hi,
Oh, wait, Avatar. Want to do
the
the Avatar?
avatar, yes. How many of you are familiar with the avatar option that we have on Zoom? Nobody? This is great and it's fun because, I mean, if you learn how to do and create your own avatar, that could be a possibility for your students, the ones that don't turn on their cameras for X or Y reason. Hey, you know, humanizing the digital environment requires, you know, to be present and show your face, but if that's a problem, then you have an option here, which is pretty cool. You gotta play with this tool and feel comfortable then teaching the skill to your students, which can be a huge challenge there. But if you go to the camera over here, if you wanna try and create your own avatar, so you have to click on the little arrow that's going up. Anagit, can you click on? Yeah, and then you will select choose avatar. So you'll have, yeah.
Sorry,
Choose.
sorry.
Yeah, that's okay. So you choose avatar and then you have tools to create your own. You have already options here. You can be any of these cute little animal avatars, but if you want to create your own, then you will have to go to, okay, so where is?
I don't know if you can see avatars.
Yeah, so if you create your own avatar, so I think,
Oh,
yeah.
she's doing, that's what she's doing, sorry. I'm like, why isn't it going when I?
It's not a smart board, but
They don't do it if they don't have a Zoom account.
they can still,
They can still do it.
I want to say yes.
They just click on their,
Yes.
can you, is that you doing that, Jennifer?
Yeah,
Yes.
Can you stop for a second?
of course.
Yeah. So you can see this is my avatar that I created to look like me with my blonde hair and glasses, okay? Now I'll stop and you can start doing what you were doing again, Jenna. Okay.
Yeah, I have my avatar on.
Yes, now if you have a student who is connecting to your Zoom class on a phone, that I don't think that's gonna be a good idea. I mean, there's just, you know, in a small phone, trying to do your own avatar, that could be chaos. But if a student has a laptop, I think it will be worth it, you know, try to teach them, you know, hey, you can blur your background but please, you know, show your face or show your avatar during breakout room conversation. A lot of our students complain a lot of, you know, my classmate doesn't participate and, you know, there's just a black screen. I mean, we have the feature. If we get fluency, if we know how this works, then we can possibly, you know, teach this to our students who have a laptop and they can customize their own avatars here. It has to be created, you know, you have to create a lesson step by step, but I think it's worth it, you know, because once they know, then they can be more present in your classes. Then they don't have the excuse, well, you know, have family or this and that, my house is dirty, whatever. You know where to go and, you know, blur your background. So you guys need to spend some time on this, feature. Have you ever, no, you haven't used this feature, correct? No?
So I like to, like, sometimes I have to join meetings at work between classes and I'm eating my lunch. I like to put the avatar on because then it looks like I'm present and paying attention, but it can't see me eating, you know?
Yeah.
Whereas, and so it's a nice option instead of a camera. I think it's great for, like, you can use it to describe people at ESL. She has short black hair, she wears glasses, you know, that's something, and it's fun. I mean, when people start putting, you know, the cows and the goats and the whatever else they are, the little badgers, like, it's fun to talk about. You can talk about the kinds of animals and, yeah.
Can you click on the virtual background? There's also another option here. So you have to really explore what options you have.
Yeah, I'm gonna let Jenna do that as.
Oh, sorry. Yeah, we just wanna just peek through what you can see and, you know, maybe today, at the end of these sessions, you can just try, the fun thing about this session will be the avatar, I don't know.
Did you want to do the choose virtual background?
Yeah.
Yes, please. So this will be options and you can blur, I mean, you can encourage students, you know, you have options if you don't wanna show, but please encourage your students to at least show a little bit of themselves, like, you know, making sure they are there for your class and also participating with your, well, with their classmates. I think any questions about that? We also have video filters.
Oh, yeah, go to the video filters. They're cute too.
Yeah, there's,
Do you
put on a
guys,
little hat. and
do
stuff.
you require your students to have their camera on?
We are not required to do that, because of FERPA and all, you know, privacy things, so, but it's encouraged all the time. Most of my students do not turn on their camera.
Right.
That's been a persistent problem.
Mhm.
And I think this semester I'm trying to teach them, creating content to teach, you know, the classroom culture. And one of the things I want them to realize is the importance to be present. Even if you commit with 5 minutes or break a room, you know, you don't have to show, but, you know, let's learn, you know, you have this option. But, you know, commit to this and, you know, participate by showing presence, whether it's you for 5 minutes or, you know, an avatar or.
Can you click on some of the filters, Jenna? Sure. Show us the TV one or something.
Oh, yeah, I was going to, I didn't know if you wanted.
I had a
That
student
one.
one time that had the eyebrow one on her, that it goes up and down, and she had that on the whole quarter, and she could not, every time she talked, her eyebrows would go up and down.
Yes, and it's just fun and it's just inviting, and again, that humanizing,
Oops, face it.
part of your class is just, you know, it's a lot more entertaining when you have something, and you can even demo that to your students and, yeah.
So
they'll
the
have
plus
fun
is
with
where you
that.
created your.
Yes, you will upload a picture if you have a picture of yourself, but yeah, so this, yeah, many things to explore. So the next one, and I don't know how are we doing with time?
We've got time.
Okay,
11:21.
perfect. So the next one is, the next update is the hide and show floating meeting controls. I don't know if you guys are,
Annoying.
I know, but now we have a feature where you can hide it. I always struggle with that clicking and you're multitasking there and,
But then you have to go take it out and hide it too.
well, that's another. Yes, it is a problem, but I think we have now the option, but again, when you wanna bring it back, where do you go if you wanna bring it back? So you have the instructions
You
there.
hit escape. You just hit escape.
Yeah.
Yeah, so this isn't something that your students or your participants are gonna
This
see.
is for
This
you.
is just purely as the host. There's all that, I call it Zoom interference.
Yeah.
All the stuff that's blocking the screen that you can't see. You can hide it now.
Yeah.
You want it back, you hit escape.
Yeah, so you'll have the written instructions there to practice. The next thing is update, number 6, Zoom notes. And this is a great feature that I haven't really explored with my class. I've been playing around because eventually when I teach my beginning literacy students how to annotate, then I can just, you know, use these notes and then have them scribble on, you know, these notes. So I created something for my class here. And the beauty of this is that it saves it and then you can share the link of your notes of that class to students who were absent. You know,
You can
add
start the note
pictures.
before class.
Yes.
So you
yes.
can let people know, like, hey, don't forget to do your homework. Do you have any questions about the reading that we did or questions about, so you can start the meeting before, the notes before class. You can look at the notes together synchronously during class, and then you can send them the notes after class and they can continue to write on them.
Where are the notes?
That
oh,
is
yes.
on the toolbar, yes. And then you select notes.
Oh, like when they're doing
Yeah.
the settings.
Some of the districts do not have this.
Oh,
And we already noticed that we couldn't find some on your computers here,
Yeah.
so sorry.
Yeah.
But some notes, we were able to find whiteboards, but not notes and clips. And we're going to show you also those features too a little later. Okay, so notes, they're similar to whiteboards, I'm sorry.
Yeah, that's okay.
Continue.
Yeah. So it's similar, like Anagit was saying, and you have options here to customize your notes and you can add a link and pictures. This is a picture or erase and just, you know, edit your notes as, you know, the font and everything here and then share it. And then Anagit, you were saying something about notes and being the board, the
Yes,
whiteboard.
they're similar to whiteboards, but one more thing is that you can only share notes with people from your district.
Yeah.
Unfortunately, if we are using branded SDCCD, we can send this only to people from SDCCD.
Yeah.
So can we utilize notes the way we can utilize the whiteboard in the breakout rooms and same?
Yes.
Yes, you
Yes.
can share.
Yes,
Yes, you can share. And I think the notes have templates, I think, or was that whiteboards?
whiteboards.
Whiteboards, and they're very beautiful templates anyway. All right, so any questions do you have? Well, you guys don't have notes, so we can't ask you, hey, do you?
But check it out. I mean, go home, get your updates, check to see if you have notes. It might be there and it's pretty interesting. It's pretty fun.
Yeah.
So
So,
this is, so you guys will have access to the slides and these are instructions for how to share the Zoom notes in the Zoom meeting. Okay.
This is what we see in our district.
Well, I mean, Zoom Notes is it's an update that's available on Zoom generally.
Yes.
It's possible that you're disabled, that your district administrator has disabled it, but it's available in Zoom.
if you see any use of it, I would encourage you to advocate or maybe talk to your, you know, district manager, boss, yeah, and say, you know, how you use this and how beneficial it could be in your class. But yeah. This is great. This is a great tool to explore and use.
You have a question?
I do have a quick question. It's kind of not really related to Zoom, but you are from the San Diego College of Continuing Education.
Yes.
Do you have K-12 incorporated into your, see, that's the difference. The K-12, if you're in a K-12 district, then the district is gonna allow you to use is gonna be restricted. Because you have minors,
Yeah.
I see.
you have minors in the district.
Dang it, okay.
Because notes can be used during the meeting, before the meeting, and after the meeting.
I'll ask.
I'm not sure how notes would violate privacy.
Yeah.
I can
probably
understand
should,
how the
yeah.
AI would,
Yeah,
but I don't understand how notes would.
yeah,
I mean, the teacher would be the monitor just to check the notes,
yeah.
but you can add anything to notes. Links and images.
Or in the meantime, you can just use a Google Doc.
True. Notes is similar to whiteboard, it's similar to a Google Doc. So we're already using those things with our students, right? I don't see how those are violating.
I'll just check.
Yeah.
I'll just check. Let's see.
Okay, so, next one is Zoom clips.
Thank you.
Yeah.
Zoom clips is a similar option that we could share only with people from our district. But the Zoom clip would be, a short version, a short clip,
Video.
2 minute to video, 2 minute long. At this moment, we can, have only five clips stored on our dashboard. I haven't used clips.
Yeah, I mean,
But we have some examples here from our,
colleagues.
from the colleagues.
Less than 2 minutes.
Yes.
oh,
she
you
was-
can't hear because I've got my sound disabled.
It's all right. So they were talking about, vocabulary. And I think it was a beginning conversation class. And
But yeah,
then-
so basically she's made a video and she can send it out to her students. Now, there's many video options available. You can record yourself speaking in Zoom if you start a meeting and record it by yourself. You can record your, you can use YouTube, you can, this is not so very special, but it's something else that Zoom has enabled. Yeah, I think she's just reviewing her lesson in this.
Is it restricted to 2 minutes? These
Yes,
classes?
Yes.
maximum 2
Yes.
minutes.
And again, you can access it through the website, in the navigation panel, or from the client on top, the navigation icon. And whiteboards. All right, and yes, and you see how we did it in our, district. So the whiteboards, you're using whiteboards in your, classes, right?
No, because they're restricted.
No, they
There?
can.
Yeah, you can use
If they want, just not everyone likes it.
So we have a little sneak peek of the templates, different templates. Have you used any templates?
No. How do you find those?
How do you find those? Again, from the navigation, the whiteboards would be,
Oh, they're not letting me do it.
Here, I can, let me stop sharing and you can see if you can do it.
Go down the whiteboard.
yes,
Right here.
new whiteboard.
And it keeps your old ones too.
It walks you through. And we can see who's here and who's doing what. We see everyone. But we also have, and you can contribute, you can use this toolbar and draw something. I mean, of course, the teacher will tell you what to do. Sticky notes, texts, images. And if you click on this extension, it will give more options. We can upload files here. And even, yes, they have templates.
So Karen Lang, who's a Zoomer, is telling us that one of the issues with whiteboard is that sometimes it finalizes text boxes before she wants it to, and then she can't go back and add to it. I think in that case, you can erase it and start another text box, can't you? Yeah, so that.
You can move it to trash, yes.
Yeah, so that would be an option, Karen, to delete it and then just start another text box.
I have one. I used in my class, if I can share.
Excuse me, as a participant, where do I write here? I can't.
They've disabled it.
Yeah.
The TDLS people have disabled it, so we can't.
That you can drag, and I think I can see like an alphabet activity here where students can, I don't know, put the alphabet letters in order if they are able to drag things.
Can you stop the whiteboard, Jenna?
Oh, yes.
I was playing.
Yeah.
Anna, you've got some screen.
I was wondering if anybody has an experience, with Google Jamboards, folks can simultaneous contribute
Right.
in it, and then you can share a link and allow folks to do it on their own time. I'm wondering if anybody here has any experience in doing that with Zoom whiteboard, where you send a Zoom, like a link to the whiteboard and people can continue working on it for homework or for review, et cetera. I don't have any experience with that. I'm wondering if anybody does.
I can't speak to that, I haven't tried that, but that we can Google it right now.
Yeah, no, it'd be interesting to find out if it is.
Yeah.
Not a-
Johanna, can you stop the?
I'm sorry, I'm trying.
Oh, okay, sorry.
The whiteboard can only close. Oh, it's not letting me close it. The whiteboard can only be closed
Okay.
by the host.
Oh, and you made it who the host? Anagit or?
I think I mean, did I just make the host? Like me?
So hang on, folks, okay?
Sorry.
That's all right, that's,
So I've,
that's a good question.
I'll make, Joanna, should I make you a host
no,
again?
because make Anagit the host.
Make, okay, Anagit, I'm making you host.
The avatars of it.
Anagit. Okay, what's going on? It's saying chat or pin for when I'm trying to make you the host. Let's go. Why is it doing
I think
that?
she's got it, hasn't she?
There we go.
Okay, so here's a beautiful Anagit.
There we go.
With
Okay.
my whiteboard, I was teaching a simple paragraph in my level 3 class. And I just used it as a presentation tool. Also, what's good about it, you can use this in a presentation mode. I mean, if we have several frames, but we can also. So there, okay. Wow, this is the topic sentence. Detail number 1, detail number 2, number 3, and conclusion.
Now, Anagit, I have a question. Did you create this as the class was in progress, or did you have to do this before your class and then just go over with your class?
This one I created at home because I was playing with it, but then I used it in my class.
Okay,
Mhm.
okay.
Okay, so I'm hearing on the chat, Zoom whiteboard parts are not movable like Jamboard. That's true. Jamboard is being phased out. Everybody knows that, right? Okay, and then, okay.
Why do they do that? Why do they phase stuff out when it seems like it's?
Well, let's-
They're movable.
Money.
You can move it.
Oh, sorry, so, Karen Lane, Anagit is telling us that in fact they are movable for the students too? The students can move it?
I'm not sure about the students, but I mean, it's like a puzzle I
Looking at different.
put together. They're movable.
So we're just exploring right now. The whiteboards.
I already moved that part and it still shows that I'm. Interesting.
It's not moving?
Yeah, it's delayed a little bit. I already did that, but it was still showing there that it was. All right, any questions about the whiteboards? And then again, whiteboards also cannot be shared with people outside of the district.
Like a bigger chapel.
Like
One of the.
Yeah.
So we, kind of do notes that everything.
Sticky.
Yeah.
Not gonna be yourself. It's just experience.
Wow.
Thank you.
But built in here. One stop shop.
Is whiteboard number 9?
Oh, okay, we can do, Chris, do you do quizzes in your show?
Polls and quizzes in my class? No, I do not do polls and quizzes and surveys in my beginning literacy class for obvious reasons. But, yeah, but in conferences that I've been to or meetings, I know it's very common for faculty, if we wanna, gather some, class information, then usually, I'm familiar with polls and surveys, but I don't use it in my class. But I can see how useful it can be for, higher language level students. And that is, if you are doing formative assessments, you're gonna see if students are getting, the lesson, then you can, create a poll or a survey, but, not for my beginning literacy students. And I think, Anna, did you have experience with that or no?
Yes.
Okay.
Sometimes I use polls every class just to check on students if the lesson was easy, if the lesson was kind of easy or difficult. And then if they say it was very easy, I said, okay, everyone is going to level 5 from level 3.
Yes.
Yay.
And they're pretty it's very easy to make them. You can, create them and then, open it up, during class and then.
Yes.
You do have to create it before you start the meeting, though, right?
Yes.
Yes.
You can't create one on the fly. It has to be done before the meeting started.
Yeah.
I don't think you can do it in the meeting, but it would be difficult to think about making a poll and be teaching. But I think it might be possible, I think.
It is possible, I think so.
You'll get
It's mentioned
sidetracked
on
though.
the website, but they come up with different updates.
It could be
every time.
useful to do something on the fly, a comprehension check.
Yes.
Yeah.
Even if it'd be nice, you could create it on the fly. I don't think you create it on the fly.
Okay,
I think you have to create it before the meeting starts. With
okay,
some other platforms like Google,
uh-huh,
they do have the option of creating something on the fly. I don't think they have it yet on Zoom, but it would be nice to have that
yeah.
option.
Yeah, but I like to use the polls for just, again, warm-ups, getting people talking at the beginning of the class. Okay, so when you go into Zoom, you click on the survey menu. Yeah, that's what I've got here. Create the poll or survey prior to your meeting or class. But when you're in that section in the menu on Zoom, you'll see the button to create your poll or survey. Then when you're in the meeting, when you're in the actual Zoom meeting, you want the poll to start, you're gonna go to your toolbar. Probably you have to click on more. The polls and quizzes usually aren't visible on the main toolbar. And then, launch the poll that you want. So I believe I can launch a poll for us here. Let's see. Oh, maybe I can't because it's not my meeting, right? Yeah, they're not here. If I can start the meeting, I can. If I can host, yeah, because this is not our meeting. There aren't any polls,
But you can also use the quiz option to do multiple choice, to do true false
Yeah.
or comprehension check.
yeah.
That would be quiz option, right?
Yeah, and I can't remember, so if you see those there's accessibility poll, my new poll, which do you prefer, and English class poll. So I can't remember what these were, but the which do you prefer was something like vanilla or chocolate, circles or squares, dogs or cats. So it's a really simple, easy one, for beginner level students. Okay? I think we're about done.
We need to play and explore, and I think, so you guys have a better, picture of all of this, and unfortunately, some of these features are restricted to your districts, but you're the one, like the speaker said, just pick a tool that you like to play around and, or a feature that you like to. For me, I think my next project is creating a lesson on how to get students, create an avatar for the ones who have a laptop. But that's gonna take time for me to, create my Google Slides and then what's the lesson, what's the purpose. But, once they get it, they can transfer those skills to the next class. So in a way, I am helping the following up teacher with, those best practices as online learners. To be present with your picture, which is huge, and I think it's a persistent problem for teachers not being able to see their students in any way, and also their classmates as well. So, avatars are for me. What about you guys? What tools are you planning to use after this session? Nothing. Let me digest all of this and then I'll figure it out.
Yeah.
Yes, it is overwhelming. It is, I feel overwhelmed with all of these things because I don't use them all. But I know they are useful and they can potentially, solve many of the persistent problems that I have in class. And get that engagement, participation, instead of just calling everybody and, not getting any response. But, Yeah, so you'll have access to the slides and then you can, it's got written instructions and then some visuals and, you know, just have it there and then maybe next week, after you digest all the information, maybe you can go back and check and see what may work for you.
We did have an answer to your question in, chat, Chris. Carolyn Zachary from California says she will be using the AI and it was fun to make her avatar.
I think this is good. That's awesome. So,
Okay, so we're here for questions. Anyone have questions? If you're a
Yes.
Zoomer and you want, to work with me privately, share your screen, I can, if you have questions, you wanna do that. If you're a roomer, we're here in the room to answer your questions. So let us know how we can help you now.